Who are you? What does it mean to be you? And who has transformed you into the person that you've become today? Is it the strength of your father, the love from your mother, or the guidance of someone whom you hold a special place in your heart? Now, perhaps you are still unsure as to who you are or where life will take you, and even who will help you to get there. But I will plant this seed that is your potential and shed some light onto what you have the power to do, no matter who told you that you don't or that you can't. We each will face challenges as we go through life, whether this be the disappointment of not getting a mark, which we tried so hard to achieve, or falling short of a goal or achievement, which we spent so long striving for, or whether this is dealing with the adversity of losing a loved one. It is how we bounce back, how we learn, and how we grow, which shapes us into the individuals that we are. Now, changing your community, the environment, and the world as a whole does not occur simply in a day. I began reading the news and engaging myself in discussions about the pollution of plastic water bottles in specifically Canada and the United States, and later, across the world. This was around the same time that my friend Connor had been discussing business ideas with our biology teacher for the University of Manitoba's Young Entrepreneur Competition. I was approached by this teacher and asked to partake in the next meeting to bring creativity and a new vision to the competition. It seemed clear to me that I had to incorporate what I had recently educated myself in and apply this to the business idea. Now, we brainstorm idea after idea, but each one either had too many flaws or it had too many challenges which we had no way of overcoming. I went home after the second meeting, and I thought more about the plastic water bottle ban and the movement going on in the US as well as in Canada. And I talked with Connor some more. The third meeting rolled around, and the idea of combining water with your choice of a flavor shot, a vitamin shot, and an energy shot had been created. The company Pure Splash was born, with our machine being called the Pure Splash Refill, and later being called the Pure Splash Aqua Shot. Now you must be wondering, how is this going to reduce the amount of plastic water bottles in our landfills and in the ocean? Well, I decided that by making the price of refilling your portable water bottle from one of our machines with simply water, that it would cost you only 50 cents. This is a quarter of the price of what the competitors would charge you for a bottle of water from one of their vending machines. Starting with the seed of a machine, which can do all that I say it can, and later, I hope they'll be able to change and benefit the environment as it grows. I live every day wondering what I can do to better myself. I wonder what I can do to help others. And I also wonder what I can do to help the world around me. I wonder, what could I do to become everything that I aspire to be? A question that always arises is, what did I learn yesterday, and how do I grow as an individual from it? I believe this is an important question that each of us should ask ourselves to be able to become better human beings. And reflecting on your daily lives is the first step to achieving this. Now, hopefully you've all had the opportunity to think about the question that I asked just a little bit ago of who you think you are. Now that you have this idea and this vision in your mind, I want you to think about who you want to be and where you want your life to go. Another question that I often confront myself with is, what are the obstacles that are stopping me from achieving who I want to be? And why am I, Reegan McCheyne, letting these obstacles dictate that. Now, these obstacles differ for each person, and for some obstacles, you have no way of being able to prepare for them. Now, think about what obstacles stop you from becoming who you want to be. Connor and I were fortunate enough to be able to pitch our idea of this eco-friendly vending machine on the CBC TV show Dragon's Den. Now, for those of you that haven't seen the show, when these entrepreneurs are pitching their business idea to these 5 successful multi-millionaires, and in some cases billionaires, they have to walk down 2 sets of black stairs before walking over to their product. Now, I was first to go down, and Connor after me. And the only thing going through my head was, Reegan, don't you dare trip or fall down those stairs. If you pull a Jennifer Lawrence, you own it. Now, this is a picture taken from the video, and they actually decided to film my feet as I walked down, which was a huge confidence booster for that. Now, when we finally reached our tarp-covered machine, which was waiting ever so patiently at the center of the room, we began our pitch. 5 minutes into our pitch, and it was finally time to unveil the sheet that was covering our machine. Neither Connor nor myself are very tall, and we had to throw this sheet up and over our machine, and it was probably the most stressful part of the entire pitch, because it was the one thing that we couldn't have prepared for. After this small issue, trying to uncover the machine, the remaining half-hour pitch and debate back and forth had begun. They all loved the idea, but as an investment, we were too early in production for them. And with a last effort to try to convince Jim Treliving, best known for being the owner of Boston Pizza, we left empty-handed, but were given a contact of Jim's to stay in touch. And we did. Pure Splash began as nothing more than an idea, a vision of how to change the environment, and by believing in what we were doing, we were able to make an appearance on Dragon's Den. It only takes one person to transform an idea into reality, and that one person is you. Transform yourself into someone who can make a difference, someone who can make a positive impact on the earth. It may be small, or it may not even be real, but think of it, mold it, and try to conjure it. Believe in yourself, have confidence, and keep yourself motivated and driven to accomplish all that you set out to. Connor and I took the advice from being on Dragon's Den and applied it back to our company. With only a short month to prepare for the Young Entrepreneur Competition hosted by the University of Manitoba's Asper School of Business, Connor and I crafted a new speech, as well as created a new display to help promote ourselves. Once again, we transformed how we presented ourselves and our product to be able to attract as many eyes as possible. First was the trade show. We set up our display on a table which already had Pure Splash written on it in the back corner of the room. We had to present it to the judges a few times. We had to answer questions, as well as tell them everything that Pure Splash is and the potential that it holds. Now, we thought we were doing a pretty good job of presenting ourselves and our product, but it wasn't until we looked beyond the judges standing in front of us that we realized that all of the other presenters had their eyes fixated on our display and were listening to each and every last word that we said. It was at that moment that I realized that Pure Splash is not a company about making money. It's not a company about persuading people to buy a product. Pure Splash is a company that is for the people, a company that is for the environment, and a company that will hopefully one day change the world, as I will. We often take part in the annual New Year's resolution game where we make goals, plant a seed, get motivated, begin watering these seeds, and by February, give up. And what could have been is dead. When we start goal setting and preparing to take on these massive objectives that we have, it can seem overwhelming, and it begins to discourage us from actually being able to accomplish them. Now, let me relate this idea back to our company, Pure Splash. We had this great and massive idea which had all of these obstacles standing in our way. At first, it felt like we weren't able to achieve anything, and it deterred us from actually wanting to create this company. We needed a new strategy, a new plan, to be able to keep ourselves driven and motivated. For me, the best way of doing this is to create a ton of small goals, set them up in an order that I like, and then begin accomplishing them exactly in that order, one step at a time. By making these small goals and then completing them, it acted as reinforcements that I'm making progress and that we are actually getting closer to our ultimate end goal. In our lifetime, none of us know how long we have or how many days that we have left. I learned very quickly at the age of 10, when my dad passed away suddenly from a brain aneurysm, that every second of every day matters. An obstacle that I had to overcome. The fact that life is too short was again introduced when my Zeta passed away when I was 16, another seemingly impossible obstacle to overcome. I would think all the time of what I can do to positively impact those around me so that they know that someone cares about them. I wanted them to know that they aren't alone, that you are not alone. Whether this is by helping an old man mail letters or cross the street, whether it is telling girls how beautiful they are to see them smile, or whether it is helping friends through times of adversity, I want all of them to know that they can count on me and that they matter. There are so many people that will tell you that you can't or that you won't be able to. Now, these types of people are afraid of what you are capable of, and they are jealous of the courage that you have to challenge these barriers. You have the power to create something new, and you have the power to change the world. You will never find the limits that you are capable of until you push them. I made a quote when I was 13, which I would like to share with all of you. The quote is, "To be stuck in the past is to be oblivious to the present and to be dead before the future begins." Now, before I get into that, I just want you to think about it. Think about what it means to you. Now, we each have this sense of ourselves, either positive or negative. And it's based on experiences that we have had, but what we have to realize is that it's these experiences which allows us to grow. We let these experiences mold our personality and our behavior, but we do not have to let these experiences dictate who we are going to be or where we are going to go in life. It is from these experiences that they're like water, and they allow us to grow into these beautiful trees that each and every one of us are. Now, back to the quote. To be stuck in the past is to be oblivious to the present and to be dead before the future begins. This means that when you fail at something, or if something tragic happens to you, don't dwell on it for too long. What is important is that you work through it. You reflect on it, and you push through all of the obstacles standing in your way. If all you do is dwell on this tragic thing that has happened to you, then you cannot be living in the present, and your life will pass you by. If life is passing you by, then there's no way that you are creating a future, and your life will consist of holes of regret. When each of you stands in front of a mirror, do you like the person that's looking back at you? We each hold the power to change who we want to become. It is never too late. Those that tell you it is too late are simply telling you that they themselves are giving up. Or maybe they already have given up. Lots of people don't know where to begin, and I would like to offer a starting point and share with you some of the greatest advice ever given to me by my Zeta. He said that in a world concerned with money and conflict, it costs nothing more to be nice or to be kind. Always be your own person, to be the little guy that I love. Who are you? Dig deep into yourselves and figure out what your heart is trying to tell you. In this room here today, I see visionaries, people who will change how we do things, change how we think about things, and change how we act towards one another. Hopefully, each and every one of you realizes how important and special you are. Hopefully, each and every one of you realizes that somebody loves you and that somebody cares about you. Hopefully, each and every one of you realizes that I see your potential, that I see what you have the power to accomplish, and that I see that you have the power to change the world. All you have to do is just add water. Thank you.